This video is brought to you by Allform. My channel is no stranger when it comes to complaining about Family Guy clones. Like, I truly have a love-hate relationship when it comes to this topic in the show itself. On one hand, Family Guy was a show that defined my early teenage years and my sense of humor. In the early 2000s, my buddy Robert and I would watch his DVD box sets of the first 2 seasons of Family Guy, like every other week. The quotes. So many quotes. Dance with me, Lois. Dance the dance of life. But on the other hand, I witnessed the seasonal rot of Family Guy, and how the show would, in my opinion, decay over the years and lose its original charm. To add insult to injury, legions of Family Guy clones would be unleashed upon the world, and the majority of them were pretty bad. Brickleberry, Paradise PD, Border Town to name a few, and the majority of them are crass and uninspired.
Sorry, that's my vagina growling.
Back in July of 2021, I reviewed Hulu's Mother Up, the self-proclaimed girl version of Family Guy. And yeah, it was painfully average. But while browsing Hulu, I stumbled across another Family Guy clone. One that is probably the most Family Guy ripoff that has ever Family Guy'd. Well, except for the Cleveland show, I guess. I present to you all, Forget About It!
You're my big brother, and I always count on you to do the right thing. So I bet on you to win, you dumb wop. Every penny I had.
Hey guys, look. It's Girl Stewie, but she's an Italian gangster. Hey, she's walking here. The show is about an Italian mob from Brooklyn who had to relocate to Canada due to the Witness Protection Agency. And that's the show. A bunch of one-note characters constantly reminding the audience that they're Italians in Canada.
Sorry. See that? You cut that chick off and she's sorry. What do you gotta do to get a finger around here?
You got the dumb fat dad, the annoyed and sexualized mom, the evil child, the family's punching bag, and of course, the lovable family pet who is an alcoholic. But in this show, it's just the uncle, who is just like another Italian guy. Like, the only character in the family that breaks the Family Guy mold is the teenage daughter, who is even more sexualized than the mom. And it's very uncomfortable.
You want to get him back for next week? Here's how you get him back for next week.
What are you, crazy? Go to your room!
So if you think you can find a more obscure and passé Family Guy clone that hails from the Great White North, forget about it! You see, I did the thing that the show does at the start of every single episode, which makes me funny. Forget about it! I did it again! Oh, by the way, this song is about to be stuck in your head for the next 5 days. Sorry!
Forget about it!
Let me tell you something about a friend of ours named Jimmy. I made the wise guy and the capo with the gambini. But when he found out that they'd be whacking Uncle Cheech, he'd take the boss, he threw him from the 19th floor suite. Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. Oh, forget about it.
Hey, real quick, just wanted to mention that I have a gaming channel where me and my friend Tom talk about video game stuff. We recently did a video about the first episode of the Halo series. Yeah, that was rough. Also, I recently played a furry dating sim, cause that's my life apparently. Go subscribe, check it out. So, what are the origins of Forget About It? Well, before I get into the production and history of the show, I want to set the table here by making it abundantly clear how big of a hit Family Guy was. It's funny, since the show itself was scrapped by Fox in its early years, but Family Guy found its salvation on Adult Swim, and also crushed it when it came to DVD sales. Hell, it broke records at the time. Fox would eventually bring Family Guy back to its roster, and the series would go on to become a mainstream phenomenon, one that would inspire dozens of ripoffs who were hoping to emulate the style of Family Guy and ride its coattails. Ironic, considering how Family Guy was heavily inspired by, you guessed it, The Simpsons.
Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil.
Now, it's safe to say that the adult animated family sitcom genre can be highly lucrative. Also, it's not nearly as demanding when it comes to animation, which means it's relatively cheaper to make. If anything, the genre relies more on writing rather than mind-blowing visuals. So it makes sense why so many companies were quick to make their own versions of Family Guy. And that leads us back to our Italian friends here. Forget About It was created in Canada and made its initial debut via Teletoon's pilot project contest. It was an initiative that was launched in 2007 and was a way for Canadian producers to pitch new ideas to Teletoon, with Forget About It being the first winner. The pilot aired on Teletoon at night. Think Adult Swim, but Canadian. And it was well received. According to this interview with the show creators, Will Winnikers and Nicholas Terabach, the original concept for Forget About It was inspired by The Sopranos, and how both Will and Nicholas wanted to make a parody of it. They made a 5-minute pilot, shot it over to Teletoon, and then got some notes back from the company, and then made some changes that led to the second pilot for the show, the one that would win the contest and would air on Teletoon at night. You know, it's a shame because I think the official pilot has more personality with the character designs, but oh well. The show premiered in September of 2012 and would run until April of 2016, with a total of 3 seasons and 46 episodes in total. Now, it's also worth mentioning that Forget About It has quite the robust presence on YouTube, and if anything, generated more interest for the show. Live streams, highlight reels, behind the scenes, full-on episodes with some of them in the millions of views. Like, respect. I don't know who's running the channel, but well done. You gave this show a second wind, and it's still holding to this very day. Now, despite my criticism for the show, which I'll talk about here in a moment, one can't deny that it did something right to garner this many views with a ton of people asking for a season 4. And who knows, maybe it could come back. Family Guy did. Mamma mia, wouldn't that be a spicy meatball? Isn't the Mario movie coming out this year? Mamma mia indeed.
Now what?
We order a pizza and a therapist.
So, what's the show about? As I said earlier, it's about a family from New York City who is involved in the Italian mob. Jimmy here is a high-ranking gangster who kills his own mob boss because the guy wanted to whack Jimmy's gangster uncle and also wanted to bang his daughter. Jimmy then rats out the rest of the mob bosses to the FBI, and then gets put in the Witness Protection Program, who moves him and his family to Regina, Canada, where he is now called Jimmy McDougal. So yeah, that's the premise. Just an angrier, more Italian version of Fred and Wilma and their dysfunctional family in Canada. Where to begin? So, as I said earlier, every character is one note. They aren't characters, they're stereotypes. One gimmick, one joke, over and over again, nonstop. That's the show. Now, these kinds of sitcoms usually only occasionally pull out any character development that sticks due to the episodic nature of these shows. But for here, there's nothing for the characters to work with. The dad is a gangster and solves problems with violence, while the mom, Cookie, is the closest thing to someone with an actual brain, but can barely keep the family together, like every other adult animated sitcom mom. The daughter, Teresa, is a ditzy, sex-obsessed pretty girl who hates her parents, while the son, Petey, is a progressive doormat cause, you know, that's the opposite of a mobster. And then there's the young daughter, Gina, who is just Stewie from the early seasons of Family Guy, but with pigtails. Even supporting characters are one note. McCool is funny cause he's a nice Canadian, and he wears a red uniform and rides a horse cause Canada is so quirky. He even has the same joke at the end of every episode he's in. Makes a lame joke referring to whatever the conversation was, combined with, "For Canada!" and then the horse flies off screen like it went warp 9. Literally every single time. And they can't stop having the characters accidentally call their town Vagina instead of Regina. It's grating after the second time they say it, but it's virtually said in every single episode. Hell, every episode begins the exact same way. Some mob job to lead Fat Dad trademark number 9280394 to say the title of the show. Forget about it! Forget about it! Forget about it! Oh my God. I think the show thinks it's a cute and endearing calling card that belongs to them. But no, it's not cute. It's annoying. And don't even get me started on the music. The opening and ending theme song is a Lovecraftian chant to summon the elder gods, and once you hear it, it will never, leave your head. Falling asleep, the ending theme will slowly waft its way into your brain as Cthulhu drains your life force to slowly break the seals that bind him to the beyond, making his way into the waking world to destroy all that you know and love. Yeah, it's that bad. Now, the voice acting is fine. I have no problems with that whatsoever. And there's even the occasional joke that might make me breathe slightly faster out of my nose. But those moments are few and far between. Also, there are moments in the show where it feels like they're trying to set up a joke, but then nothing happens. It just awkwardly ends. And then there's the animation. You know, it's a bit stiff, but it's serviceable. Probably done with puppets and Toon Boom. And it definitely has that adult cartoon look to it. You know what I'm talking about. That generic, just legally distinct enough from Family Guy aesthetic to avoid direct comparisons. But if you squint, you can barely tell them apart. Actually, the more I think about it, these visuals look like a slightly better version of Go Animate. Yeah, remember that? Is it still a thing? I don't even know anymore. It's also worth mentioning that since the show is Canadian, it features jokes and stories that are definitely more on brand when it comes to their sense of humor. Like there was an episode where the daughter Teresa joins an Amish cult and she churns butter sensually and does that motion, you know, that motion with the butter churning and yeah, this happens. Would this fly in America? I mean, this joke actually got a chuckle out of me, but I'm under the impression that Canadians have a more risque sense of humor compared to Americans. Now, that's not a complaint, just an observation. Family Guy can be as edgy as it wants to be, but I don't think that would fly on Fox. Overall, I can't help but feel that Forget About It is a show with a funny premise, but that's really about it. It doesn't have legs and remains quite stagnant for the most part. Yes, the pilot is cute, and I think it's a fun concept, but the writers for the show were unable to mobilize it. It's a shame too, because there's actual talent involved with the production of the series, and there could have been something of merit here. But instead, we're stuck once again with yet another bland ripoff of Family Guy.
You can't arrest someone for speeding.
This is Canada, sir. I'm arresting you for hurting my feelings.
So in conclusion, Forget About It definitely deserves a spot in the Family Guy clone Hall of Fame. Just like Mother Up, it too is painfully average and features a bunch of one-note characters that lack any depth or charm and are mainly just stereotypes with lazy writing and humor. Now, I know it's incredibly unfair of me to do this, but I am once again going to use King of the Hill as a positive example. So in that show, we see a bunch of stereotypes. The redneck, the Asian, the Native American. But King of the Hill uses these stereotypes to its advantage in order to flesh out its characters. Yes, Hank is a redneck, one who is deeply rooted in traditions like home repairs, doing his yard work, and sports. That's his comfort zone. But the journey for Hank is seeing how he is pulled out of that bubble, whether by choice or by force. Hank once wore a dress for his good friend Bill, a guy who was having a mental breakdown at the time and was on the verge of being mobbed at a party. But Hank put on a dress out of solidarity for Bill. Con, Hank's neighbor, had his daughter turned down from an illustrious school because she was too Asian. And we see how he feels stuck on the hamster wheel of life, despite how hard he tries to break that cycle. And then we have John Redcorn, one of the very few Native American characters in mainstream media who is not just defined by his ethnicity. Yes, he brings up his culture, his history on occasion. But the guy also has a midlife crisis and is desperately trying to connect with his bastard son Joseph to no avail. That's how you can utilize a stereotype to tell a story instead of just constantly relying on the lowest common denominator. But unfortunately, that's what I see with Forget About It. The lowest common denominator. And here's the thing, Jimmy has moments in the show where he is a fish out of water. Hell, that's the entire premise of the series. But he refuses to bend or adapt. And we get the same, I'm a pissed off Italian mobster, I'm walking here shtick over and over and over again. It gets very old very fast. Now, I don't need profound character arcs or chair-gripping storytelling when it comes to this kind of genre, but it would be nice to have characters that could be more than just one-note personalities. So, if you think that this show will change the adult animated family sitcom genre instead of adding to that stereotype, forget about it!
La 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 la.
So a huge shout out to this video sponsor, Allform. Guys, I have never had a more convenient sponsor in my entire life. The stars aligned, and let me tell you why. For those who don't know, my good friend Tom just recently moved into my neck of the woods. Tom here helps me to research and write videos on this channel, but also works with me as a partner on the gaming channel, SaberSpark64. It is an effort for Tom and I to cover topics that wouldn't fit on my main channel, and primarily have to do with the gaming industry. Tom has reviews, I have reviews, we have combined reviews, story times, video essays, all kinds of stuff. We're both excited about the prospects of it all, but in order to achieve that goal, we wanted to work together in person. Helps with the chemistry and staying on task, you know? Ta-da! Our home office. One that was pretty empty at first. And I was like, we need to furnish this place, but where do we start? The couch store? I don't know how to be an adult, all right? Leave me alone. Thank God for Allform. They hit me up out of the blue, showed me their options, and the entire process was flawless. As I sat on the couch after assembling it, I looked at Tom and I was like, bro, this was perfect. For those who don't know, Allform is the sister brand of Helix, the same company that hooked me up with my awesome mattress that I've been using for, well, over a year now. But instead of mattresses, they're modular, so you can mix and match and customize and get a fit that works with your room. Top of that, they are scratch and stain resistant. Yeah, Lammy, you hear that? Still, don't throw up on the couch, okay? Look at him, he looks so comfy. Guys, I am legit excited about this living space. Let me tell you why. We got the big comfy couch, we got the TV, and now I can make Tom suffer as we watch terrible movies together, as I force him to write scripts about these awful movies. I can't wait! I can finally torture Tom in person! Also, I can nap on the couch too afterwards. Tom and I settled on this 5-piece sectional couch. We got it in charcoal, with natural legs, and also the ottoman to match. And of course, some matching pillows too. I'm all about that sectional L shape that fits so exceptionally well in the room. It keeps us comfy while we work, but it can also be rearranged and combined if we need to down the road. Like, there's over 500 unique combinations you can do with Allform and their chairs, sofas, corners, and ottomans. Kick up your feet, stretch out, sit upright, do whatever the hell you want on your couch. Again, I can't believe that this was sent right to my front door. And thank God I did not have to wait around for delivery. They dropped it off, and that was that. No need to rent a truck to move things. No worries about lugging in a massive couch and ripping it on the door frame. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a slam dunk to assemble. And honestly, kind of fun. I like building things. It was like Lego to me. Some of these Allform sofas can be done in 15 minutes with completely tool-free assembly. It's easy to shop, painless to ship, it's done quickly, and guess what? The shipping is free. Also, there's a 100-day trial in case you don't like your selection. And Allform will come pick up your stuff free of charge and will give you a full refund. That is a great vote of confidence. So yes, I absolutely love my Allform couch, and I think you would too. If you're looking for some new seating, check out Allform. Visit the link down below, or go to allform.com/saberspark for 20% off any sofa of your choice. I highly recommend them.